Now, what we're seeing happening between South Africa and the US is something that is going to define the history books and the assignments that kids are going to be writing in Africa for a long time, because this is just going to be the realization of American imperialism in the world. Now, look at it this way. America is making some unfounded accusations against South Africa. And when I say unfounded, I mean there is no proof at all, except a few white people who are in South Africa saying, oh, we are being killed. But then those people are alive. So what we are seeing in America and South Africa is an example of how America would twist facts into lies and hogwash, and the world, gullible enough, would believe such nonsense. Now, this is what happened in South Africa. The president of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, has put what they call expropriation of land without compensation for land that is not being used or underutilized land, which basically means if you're not using your land for any production or any productivity, the government has the right to seize and own the land and give it to people who can utilize it, which is fair in my own opinion. But then what's going on right now is America, because it wants to safeguard their settlement colony to the point whereby they are telling South Africa that if they continue doing anti-white or anti-capitalistic laws or policies, they are going to impose certain sanctions or certain conditions that would disadvantage the South Africans. Now, this comes after Elon Musk. Elon Musk has said, I was not able to launch Starlink in South Africa because I'm not black, which is again untrue. Why? Because South Africa has laws, equitable laws, that are trying to propel what they call the historically disadvantaged groups, HDVs, right? To make sure that they are at least catching up with the advantaged white minority. So what it does is it says that if you want to establish any company within South Africa, you need to have a black or a historically disadvantaged person, which stems from actually black people. So you need to have a black entrepreneur, and also you have to employ the black nationals in your company, which in my honest opinion is fair. I think employment is 5%, and then 20% is the black entrepreneurs. So in my honest opinion, I think Donald Trump is being unreasonable. So here is Julius Malema. Julius Malema is coming up with his own speech about the American threats to South Africa, and they're quite clear about it. They shall not be bullied. Now let's watch this for a second.
Chair, I understand why the representatives of imperialist forces will want to silence this voice. And that's why they will stand up to raise unnecessary questions. House Chairperson, the first remark we wish to make is that there was a very little engagement politically. If anything, people want to blackmail us about aid and all sorts of things. But they know very well that there is no reason related to any wrongdoing by South Africa which has led to USA cutting its own aid. You can't say Donald Trump must be elected today and the following day he makes executive orders, and then you come here and blame the South African government as if the South African government did not do anything in between. That was a predetermined outcome where he wanted to come into office and punish South Africa for its position on Palestine and many other issues.
Well, I don't think that's the case. That's the reason why Donald Trump is targeting South Africa. I think Elon Musk is the one who is targeting South Africa, because Elon Musk has always had an agenda of white supremacy in South Africa. He has always fought Malema over his chants and obviously his threats about land in South Africa. Anyway, Elon Musk's father is in South Africa, if you know.
We must be very clear that we are not going to agree to any form of bullying by anyone. It's a lie that there is farm killings in South Africa. Actually, those who are married in farms and owning farms, they kill each other for money, for policy monies. The farmers themselves kill each other for greedy reasons. The farm workers kill the farmers because they rape them in exchange for money and do not pay them, like Eugene Terreblanche did when he raped a farm worker and did not want to pay. We cannot be told that there are farm murders in South Africa when the farmers themselves are actually killing the farm workers. It was the white farmers who killed 2 women in Polokwane and fed them to the pigs. It's a complete lie that white people are being killed in South Africa. If anything, white people live in privilege, and that's what Donald Trump knows. You cannot say Donald Trump is misinformed. They've got the best intelligence equipment in the whole world. They even have a military base next to South Africa in Botswana to listen to every conversation we have.
Fun fact, there is 8% of the white minority in South Africa, and they control over 50% of its resources. Now, tell me, who is in control? Let's go.
They can tell you what is in private conversation in the executive and everywhere else. They don't need AfriForum. They are using AfriForum as a scapegoat to punish us politically. And we ought to be very clear about that. When the aid came into South Africa at the first place, it was not to help Africans. It was imperialist forces putting the aid into South Africa so that they can control South Africa. And use that aid to always say to you, if you take a political stand against the imperialist forces, we'll always cut the aid. So we ought to have known even then that we're not supposed to entirely rely on the USA. I'm very happy that the Minister of Health is speaking about possible interventions that can be made to avoid that aid of America. We can do with every help, but we will never accept help that say we must allow the perpetuation of white privilege. We cannot allow the whiteness to prevail in South Africa because we want to save life. We will save life. America did not save us during apartheid. Children were murdered in 1976. Children were murdered in the 80s. Where was America against apartheid? If America had anything to save an African life, it's a lie. They never wanted to save us. They were never there for us before. Palestine was there for us. Cuba was there for us. Russia was there for us. America will never choose friends for us.
Honorable
We will
member,
choose our own
your
friends.
time will expire. Thank you.
Wow. Guys, tell me what you think. I'm out.